So this is a 10-year-old broodmare named Sophie. She's a miniature horse, and we're hoping to change her career from having beautiful babies to being a therapy horse. She has had a chance to explore the round pen. She does not want to be caught. She kind of has no idea about leadership. And what we're trying to teach her here is to want to submit to fair and good leadership, one that she could understand and follow. And I want her to want to be caught. I want her to make the choice that she would allow me to catch her, because chasing a horse never works. So I'm trying to establish my leadership by establishing communication. Communication leads to cooperation by establishing trust. And I'm trying to use my body language in a way that a horse can understand. And some of what this is basically anything behind the front legs and neck is a gas pedal, and everything in front of that drive line that we call like front legs and head and neck is a steering wheel or a stop. If you watch bands of mares in the wild, the stallion would drive them from behind and then stop them, and kind of draw them to himself that way. So this round penning that we're doing here is basically asking her to move and then crossing that drive line and giving her a chance to stop. Now, a lead mare in the herd would also do that, but it would be more like, moving the new horse's feet, and when the horse yields in either creating movement, redirecting movement, or inhibiting movement, then that establishes the other mare as the lead. So whoever yields first and whoever moves their feet first loses. And another principle here is try to make the wrong thing hard and uncomfortable, and the right thing easy and comfortable. So I'm establishing direction, and I want her to go only in that direction until I allow her to switch directions. Because again, this is redirecting movement, which establishes me as the leader. Why that matters also is because horses have a right eye and a left eye, and believe it or not, the brains of right and left eye are different. It's almost like you having two separate horses. Just because they know something from the left eye doesn't mean that they're gonna understand it with the right eye. Just like we have, right and left hand, and we do things easier with the right, maybe, or the left. Horses are kind of the same way, and some of the stuff translates between the two eyes, but you should never assume that has been accomplished. You need to check and treat it as if you don't expect it to translate, so then you're safer and you can set yourself and the horse up for success by not, by checking and making sure. So over here again, when I point, that means move. She's kind of shaking her head. That's all dominance. She's a dominant mare, and she's been a mom, and she has her babies actually with her, and she knows where they are in this yard. So all she wants to do is go back to them, really. Now this is one of her daughters. Her name is Angie. Angie is not really fully trained, but she has been a therapy horse. Oh, okay. This moment here is super important. This is when she first looked at me. For the very first time, I could say a word to her that mattered, and she was on the right track. Now, going back to Angie, that's her mom that I'm round penning, and she's the little white pony on the outside. So Angie's been with me for 6 months, and her mom and her sisters literally came 2 days ago, and this is the first time I'm round penning her. And Angie actually wants to tell the rest of the herd that they should listen, and this is good. So over here, I'm going to start talking about the actual training, because what happened there is very important. So I crossed her drive line right there, and I tried to catch her doing the right thing. Now I'm creating movement in order to catch her. When she turns to me, I turn away and release the pressure. Horses learn from the release of pressure, not the pressure itself. The pressure is a question, puts them on a bind to try to figure out an answer, and then the release of pressure is actually what makes them sure that they did the right thing, and then they would be looking to repeat the right answer once they submit to your leadership. But over here, just because she kind of started talking to me once and gave me 2 eyes doesn't mean she's submitting or done. It's just the very beginning of signs of us exchanging words in the same language. I need to continue to drive her and to fight for my right to be her leader, or to set her up for success, to accept me as her leader, so that we can continue with her training. I want her to choose me. So again, I'm trying to give her every possible chance to do the right thing, and she is kind of ignoring me, avoiding the issue, thinking about it. She's buying time, basically. She kind of gets an idea what I want now, and she's buying time because she doesn't really want to submit and entrust herself to me yet. She's trying to gain a little camaraderie from the paint mare over there, Dazzle. She is trying to put her nose outside, pointing to the outside of the round pen, which means to me, get lost, lady. I don't want anything to do with you. I want to get out of the round pen and go back to my 2 girls, my 2 babies. I apologize for the camera work, but it really is just me filming off of the fence on my phone. So over there, she must have stopped. She gave me 2 eyes, and I made a big release. So me squatting down is just further accommodating her understanding that this is the right answer. So I'm trying to give her every possible chance to say yes to me. I release the pressure by turning my body away. I ask for her to come follow me. She says no. So then I drive her. So the good deal is I'm safety. I'm the good deal. You come to me, all your troubles are over. Trust me. The bad deal is if you choose not to acknowledge me, I'm going to move your feet so that I can get your attention. We can start talking. And in human terms, that is very rude. But in horse terms, they actually are looking for a leader so they can relax about life and not worry about it. They much rather somebody else worry about their safety than themselves. But they're not easily going to give up that position, because they need to absolutely trust and know that I am confident enough, that I am aware enough, that I can talk to her enough and understand and acknowledge her enough for her to give me her trust, because to horse, this is really a life and death decision. If I lead her the wrong way, she might die. That's what she thinks in her brain. So right there, I'm trying to move, stop, catch, move, stop, catch, and trying to draw those two eyes, and then I turn away. She is looking at me even though you can't see it. The little shake of the head this time was a release of tension. So she's starting to release tension. She's still trying to avoid and buy time to think and make decisions. And I still need to drive her and give her a reason to think of me and to pay attention to me, because otherwise we're not going to get anywhere. Now, the fact that she is closing on the circle, you see how she chose for a moment there to not use the whole space, but run a circle closer to me. That is another sign that she is trying to accept me. The lowering of her head, the looking with her eyes, the licking and chewing, those are all signs. And then she's like, no, but I want to, but no, I don't know, I'm confused. Here, I'll look at you. Let me think about this. And I'm saying, okay, let's keep talking as you think. And the previous shaking of the head that happened, like when the neck is moving a little bit right there, like that's all not really aggressive, but like frustrating and a little bit of attitude there, trying to see if she could intimidate me. And when I'm not intimidated, then she's like, maybe I should trust her. Maybe she does know what she's doing. See her eyes looking at me? I'm releasing. When I lose her attention, I create movement or energy so that I give her a reason to be motivated to find an answer again. And the right answer is to look at me. And I'm waiting for that moment so I can give her a big release. There she goes, right there. See how I'm turning my shoulders away and I'm looking at her? Okay, you saw that shake of the head? That's what I meant. So that shake of the head is like, I don't know. Like, I'm frustrated with this decision. I don't want to make a decision right now. All I want to do is go to my babies. And her curving her neck and everything like that's a stoic position, a position of power. And then again, she thinks about releasing, which is good. Right there, she gives me two eyes. Beautiful. But when I lose her attention, I draw it. Now, this is a huge moment. She thought of coming to me, so I'm squatting down to give her all the incentive to come to me, and she chooses it. And she took the chance, and this is huge. This is our first connection, truly, really. Right there. Now, it's probably not going to last because she will think about it and she'll be like, maybe I need to leave. I still don't know. I'm wondering what to do. So she's processing a lot, and now she's like, no, I want to go. I don't know about this. Am I making a stupid decision here? It's like for them, if when we buy a house or a car, we kind of wonder about it. We're not like right away making a decision. For her, this is not a house. This is life and death. She needs to either accept me as a leader or reject me. So she is thinking hard, showing me her stature, what she thinks, is very powerful and stoic by curving her neck, by shaking her head. Again, I apologize for the video, but she was looking at me and kind of taking steps towards me, and then she changed her mind again. So this is going to go on for a while. Every horse would eventually submit and come to you. But how long would it take? It's really up to the individual horse and the trainer involved, and what energy they're exchanging and all that kind of stuff. For the sake of the video, we didn't accomplish the full join up, as you will, because in the full join up she would actually end up following me around everywhere at Liberty. But today we were losing the light. I had other engagements, so we just did about half an hour. And usually in half an hour I can get a horse to do that. But again, she's been a mom for 10 years and she's been calling all the shots. There's many distractions, many decisions, a lot at stake for her. Her own herd of babies and so forth. So right here, she allows me to come and touch her. I do so, and then she comes with me for a little while. But she's not really willing, like she's still not sure. So again, for the sake of time, I caught her here. She allowed me to catch her. It wasn't a total rejection. It was just she was a little unsure. Ideally, I would have finished that session with her following me, but we will be repeating this tomorrow anyway. And she would have a much better understanding and things would be moving much quicker at that point tomorrow with the Liberty stuff. But here I'm kind of doing a shortcut and I'm teaching her to really follow me and to lead well, because she didn't quite know that. Now the fact that she stops for me is very important. When my feet stop, she needs to stop. Ideally I want her a little bit further away from me, but because her feet are stopping when mine are stopping, I would allow that. And here is disengaging the hindquarters, which is basically yielding. Big reward, big release right there. I want to establish with her that I'm not out to get her, that I'm a really good deal and she can relax. Big release right there. She thought about kind of throwing a fit a little bit and then had a big release. Now I'm sending her to yield her front end. And this is the beginning of lunging. When I taught her how to disengage her hindquarters, now I can use that. So at the lunge to kind of disengage them there, she kind of got scared and unsure, so she bolted forward. But because of the disengaging of the hindquarters, there she goes again. She doesn't trust me. She thinks I'm out to get her. But she'll understand. So right there, when I look at her hindquarters, she stops. And then I pet her. And my goal was to get a calm departure and kind of walking around. And again, establishing that lunging is not a bad thing. And it's not a super scary thing. Right there, she actually... when I ask her to go on that side, she's learned to push into people with her shoulder. And because I'm not letting her do that, that's why she kind of freaks out and goes forward. Right there, she wants to push on me. The camera can't really read that, but she wants to push. Her nose is tipped to the right and her shoulder is coming towards me to the left. And this is very dominant. If she was a full-size horse, I would probably use my stick and string as to keep myself safe there. But she's starting to be a little softer and to understand more. And it's important that you take the time to give her big releases and lots of encouragement and just a time to process. So she's still thinking about pushing. You see how she's pushing me with her shoulder, pushing me with her shoulder. pushing me with her shoulder, wanting to kind of run on top of me if she could. And I'm saying this would not feel comfortable for you. That is not the right choice. So over here, to give her the answer, I switched sides because this side is better for her. She hasn't learned to push on anybody with this side. So I want to teach the easy side first in hopes that some understanding would leak over to the other side, even though, again, I said don't assume that it got transferred to the opposite eye. But sometimes at least they get more sure about what the answer is. See how I'm pointing here? I'm swinging in her head and neck. She's like, no, I'm running the opposite way. I'm saying, no, I need to give you this direction. And I only release when she went the direction I wanted her to go. If I would have released earlier, she would have learned that she can kind of switch directions randomly and she doesn't have to listen to me. So you ask as gentle as possible, but you don't release that pressure. In fact, you increase the pressure in order to get the right answer. So as gentle as possible and as firm as necessary. There, she's much calmer now, and she disengages really well, and she understands what that means. And this horse is very, very smart. I mean, I haven't done any work apart from this ever with her hindquarters, and you saw that I did literally like 2 circles on each side looking at her hindquarters, and she learned to disengage. And now every time I look there, she knows what that means. I'm all about cuddling the horse, making them feel good and appreciate it. So now this is her bad side. We finished on a good note on the good side, and now it has transferred somewhat. She's much better. She has a slight curve to her body, and she's not pushing on me with her left shoulder there. This shaking is just a release of unsureness and pressure and adrenaline. So now I'm going to teach her to back up, and I'm trying to say ho and let her stop away from me. And I'm trying to say, okay, when you feel that pressure, you move your feet backwards. Now I'm trying to say to her that she needs to back up. She doesn't understand. And so right there, when I pushed on that lead shank to give her the answer, she took it. But right now, she is throwing a fit. And again, I can't release. I just need to keep her nose pointed towards me as much as possible and kind of stop her from going all over. And I need a step back, and she's not willing to give it to me, so I can't release the pressure. And I'm trying to show her what I mean. Press there, press there, press there. Keep it going. It goes on forever, it seems. And right there. And then I quickly release. The quicker you release once you get a step backwards, the quicker the horse would understand what you want. She's really processing, and it's good to give her time to process this. And encourage her and pet her and say, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bump on you this way. But again, if I release the pressure when she's not doing the right thing, then I'm teaching her to do the wrong thing. And this is going to take much longer. Remember, you're creating education which adds value to this horse's life. Nobody wants to get rid of good horses. Everybody wants to get rid of horses that are not useful to them, or are dangerous, or considered stubborn, disobedient, and so forth. I don't think horses are stubborn and disobedient. I just don't think that they've been communicated with and inspired to be obedient. There she goes again. Moving backwards on a forward-thinking animal is just very, very hard to accomplish and to establish, and especially a lead mare yielding to me backwards. She literally right there needs to submit. That's basically the biggest submission you can ask for, and she's just not sure she's willing to do that. And she showed me that with the round penning and the way that I caught her. Again, I was trying for the sake of the video to kind of move along, because you gotta be a total horse nerd to want to watch me go around in a circle for 3 hours, especially when the recording is not great and half the time you can't see what I'm doing. But right there, I'm giving her a big release because she actually did yield, and I want to make that feel super good. So I'm just suggesting slightly now. She slightly moved back. That's all I want, is just a thought, a weight shift, half a foot. Right there is 1 foot. That was excellent. And then I pet her and let her know that that was the answer. So it's a big release there, and you always want to end on a good note. I'm going to end the session right there because she actually gave me 1 foot backwards with super light pressure, and we'll continue building up from there, more steps tomorrow.